Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Shweta Sharma and today's video on the quick tips for Clat for reading comprehension has been specifically created for the people who are about to write their exam within the next 2 months, the Common Law Admission Test 20. So, in this video on reading comprehensions, I would like to relate this video to a movie. For example, you go to watch a movie. How do you see it? Within the first 30 minutes, you understand what is the movie about. Within the next 40 to 45 minutes, you try to connect it to the first 30 minutes. That is, whatever was there in the introduction, you try to relate the next 40 to 45 minutes to the introduction. That is the body of the movie, the entire story of the movie. And eventually you come down to the conclusion. That is, why has the movie been written? What is the message behind the movie? An RC which comes to you in an exam is similar to a movie. In the first paragraph itself, you understand the claim, that is the introduction. Why has the passage been written? The 2 to 3 paragraphs which follow the first paragraph, they give you the body of the passage. And finally, the last paragraph talks about the conclusion. That is, why has the passage been written? So the entire story is more like a movie. So when it comes to dealing with the reading comprehension questions, I'm going to deal with the three things. First is understanding, second is assimilation, and the third is retention. When we talk about understanding, we refer to being able to find answers to the questions like what is the central idea, what is the primary purpose of the passage, what is the gist, what is the main idea, what is the title of the passage, what can be the tone of the passage. All these questions should be answerable by you when you're referring to an understanding of the passage. Second thing is assimilation. Assimilation refers to being able to understand how has the passage been structured. That is, you should be able to find the connect between the different paragraphs. What is the relation between the first and the second paragraph, the second and the third paragraph? What is the role of the last paragraph? All these questions you should be able to find the answers to. And last of all is retention. When we talk about retention, we refer to the keywords we are learning out of that passage. That is, we should be able to make notes while reading. You should be able to make notes, some keynotes. You can write them down in the SMS text language so that you don't have to read the entire passage again. You can visit those paragraphs and simply be able to answer the questions which have been asked later. The next thing we're going to talk about is the 4 C's. The claim of the author, the continuity words, the contrasting words, and the concluding words. Whenever you spot these things, you should always be able to alert your mind. The first thing is the claim of the author. The claim is something we are able to find always in the first or sometimes even in the first 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph of a passage or the first 2 paragraphs of the passage give us a hint of what is the passage all about. The introduction basically also gives you an idea of what is the author trying to prove through the claim. The second thing is the continuity words. When we talk about the continuity words, we refer to the words like additionally, in addition to, likewise, similarly. All these words are trying to take the same tone forward. The next C is about the contrasting words. Whenever you come across conjunctions like although, however, yet, nevertheless, this, though, this, yet, this, you should always be alert that the author is always trying to change the context, or he's trying to get the contrast in between. So that change in the context or the contrast is something that should take more of a focus. That is, you should be more focused whenever you spot a contrasting term. And the last C is about the concluding words. When you talk about the concluding words, you refer to the words like henceforth, therefore, this happened, hence this should happen, thus, therefore. All these words are the concluding words. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the GST of English. That is, G refers to gist of the passage or the general idea of the passage. S refers to the structure and T is the tone of the passage. When you refer to the gist of the passage, you refer to the central idea or the main idea or the crux of the passage. Why has the passage been written? What is the main idea behind the passage? Second thing is structure. Structure refers to the connection between the paragraphs. Again, coming back to the mind mapping. That is, you should be able to summarize in your mind what is the central idea of each paragraph and you should be able to connect it well. That will give you the structure of the passage. How has the passage been structured? And last of all, we talk about the tone of the passage. Tone refers to how is the author constructing the passage. What is the tone? Whether it is appreciative, or is it belittling, or is it condescending, or is he being sarcastic or ironic or humorous? Whatever the tone is, you should be able to identify it by the time you've done reading the passage. Again, the tone of the passage might vary from one paragraph to another. So you should be able to understand when the question is on the tone of the passage, or is it the question on tone of a certain paragraph. You should be able to differentiate between them. And when it comes to solving the questions, again, you should be able to read the headers as in the question stems. Be very careful when you're reading the question stems. Now I would like to talk about certain other important nuances of a reading comprehension question when it comes to specifically the Clat exam. The first and the foremost thing is that you should be able to identify the difference between a primary purpose question and a central idea question. When it is your primary purpose question, the question is specifically hinted at why has the passage been written. And when it is a question on central idea, it is what is the main idea of the passage, what is the crux of the passage. That is the summary of the passage. It does not refer to the reason behind the passage. The reason has already been covered in the primary purpose, right? So you should be able to differentiate between the two kinds of questions along with this. And also when it comes to the title of the question, title of the passage, there's another question which is generally asked on what can be the most appropriate title for the passage or a certain paragraph sometimes. So the title is something which has to be a title. मतलब picture का नाम क्या होना चाहिए? It's more like that. So that should be something which is appropriate from the entire passage, not just half of the passage or from a particular section of the passage. No. The title should be something which can be a title or name of the entire passage, not just one section. So I hope you are able to understand the main tips and tricks you're going to cover when it comes to reading comprehension questions. And I would like to create more videos on reading, how to read, and what exactly should you read. Also on mind mapping, so that you are able to understand how to connect the paragraphs while you read, how to find the central idea, how to find the primary purpose. I'll be creating more videos on the same. Till then, I hope these tricks and these tips would help you to understand the exam well. And again, all the best for your exam. Keep writing, and please do subscribe, like, and share if you really like the video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.